Hey, welcome to another Valley Forged. Today we're talking about acrylic, specifically with the Lasermatic MK30. I have the 30 watt, 10 watt version. And yes, acrylic, you can do so much acrylic. There has never been a time where you could do more acrylic with a diode laser than you can now. There's so much out there. So everything I talk about, from the laser to the acrylic to everything, it's all going to have links below. So go down there if you hear anything that's interesting. Before I forget, I want to mention I am making a rubber stamp in a next video. And also I'm going to be doing leather. So rubber stamp, I just went to the thrift store and I got this old rubber stamp. And then I'm going to make one and I'm going to stick it on here. So that should be fun. I've never made a rubber stamp before. And you know I make leather wallets, purses, whatnot from in using my diode laser. And so I will be doing that with the Rolly Lasermatic. And both the 10 watt and the 30 watt settings, so we can see what the difference is there and just make sure, hey, I can continue doing my leather business with this laser. So back to the video in acrylic. The acrylic and what you can and what you can't do. Now, they've come out with a lot. There's like 16th inch acrylic now. So for 10 watt lasers, that's probably going to be your best bet. 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, you could definitely do with a higher power. You know, I have a 30 watt diode laser. I used to have the 36 watt Acer. There is no difference. I could tell absolutely no difference. I used the same exact settings and they worked exactly the same from the 30 watt to 36 watt. It does the same thing. I think one thing that benefits you with the Rolly Lasermatic is the fact that there's nothing below the honeycomb bed, at least not for a few inches. So you're not getting any flashbacks. And so it is causing less, little scars here and there. So it's a little cleaner. But as far as the cutting goes, it's the same. So if you've got a 30 watt, I would say the 1/8 inch is probably your best bet, but it will do a 1/4 inch. And if you've got a 50 watt diode, then you're pretty good to go on the 1/8 inch acrylics. Everything except for transparent and mirror. And I did a video on this months back, and it's pretty much the same. That was a more lengthy video, and you can go watch that. I'm sure you'll learn a lot of things about diode lasers and acrylic. I also did two-tone acrylic, which I'll be talking about here in the follow-up video. But one thing I found is transparent just doesn't cut correctly. Clear, not at all, really. I mean, you can get some bubbly mess. I'll try and put up a picture. When you try and cut it and engraving it, it's just not working very well. And then when you get to the colors, it's just a little bubbly on the edges. It just never really comes out clean. Anything transparent and anything mirror. Now, of course, you're not going to try to cut or engrave down onto the mirror side, right? That's just going to bounce right back up. So don't do that. You want to have that mirror side down, facing down, and then you can etch off the back. So it's usually like a gray back on the back of mirrors, and you can etch that off and it looks amazing. So that you can do, but then you've got to cut it out. How are you going to cut it out? And when you do cut it out, it's going to look terrible. It will do it. It just looks terrible. So, and I was getting a lot of sparky things and just stuff that you just don't want to see. And I'm pretty sure those flashbacks and whatnot are going to hit your lens cover. You just don't want to do it. So I would stay away from that. The only other acrylic I had trouble with was obsidian. And that's in this glitter section. And it was this black obsidian stuff and obsidian stardust. And I just couldn't get it to work right. It would also be bubbly. But pretty much everything else that you see here, which is a lot, cut it great. Cut it engraved great. These scales and things like that, really interesting. I did a bottle opener. In my last one, I did that one again because I had only made one of them and it sold immediately. Now I thought, oh yeah, it's pretty cool. You can do acrylic and, you know, put wood with it on a bottle opener. And I thought it looked really cool and unique, but I didn't think anybody else was going to find it that interesting. But yes, it sold immediately. So I hadn't made another one until now, and it worked exactly the same. Looks really nice. I do a video on making the bottle openers, and there's all different sorts of things you could do. A really great idea for a business. I've been getting a lot of play for this. Is different bars, you know, restaurants, things like that. They need bottle openers, and you can make them specifically, you know, with their logo and everything. They look great. But again, yes, all of these there's way more than there was when I did the last video. And these metallics, they work really well. So you'd think, oh, it's metallic, it's probably not going to work. It works great. There's no trouble with these, at least the ones I got from Craft Closet. You got pearlescent, textured, solids, you know, all kinds of fun things that you can do. And as I mentioned before, I did a separate video on these two-tone acrylics. This is some of my favorites, actually, because it just makes your life so much easier. I did a bunch of keychains, and I did a video on this as well. That you can make the keychains so much easier using this two-tone, especially this orange. It looks so good. I guess they call it clementine. But I found that the yellow didn't really, it's just, there's not enough contrast. I'm sure for specific things it'll be great, but it just wasn't a lot of contrast. I haven't tried the blue yet, but the red, the black, and the orange are all great. I'm sure there's a lot more uses for the black one, obviously, but I really like the punch of the orange. And it just saves you a lot of time and energy, you know, for doing like a keychain, or I'm sure there's a ton of other like little plaques that you would have for an office or something, that it just makes it a one and done. You don't have to paint it. You don't have to do any special prep work. Just finished. Now these are only one-sided. I guess it's my only, big downside of this. You can't do two-sided things like a two-sided keychain. Really easy. If any of you find one that does two-sided, let me know, because I would be very interested, because it is one of my favorite things. Two-tone acrylic. And I better mention that the one that I was using that's kind of that rainbow, that is called Foxglove. Somebody had asked me about that in the past. It's pretty cool. And I guess these pastels, I haven't seen these yet. There's also like kaleidoscope shimmer. Looks just really crazy looking stuff. I can't even think of all the reasons and ways that I would use all this. Here's the Foxglove. So I could go on and on about this, but it's basically, yes, you could do it with the exceptions that I would say. So like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Let me know what you want to know. I mean, I am here to make videos for you, to help you. Yes, I have the Rolly Lasermatic MK2 30 watt. Boy, that's a that's a mouthful. But it doesn't mean that I can't do things to show you for other lasers as well. I mean, I've used so many different lasers, from 150 watt CO2 lasers through most of the diode lasers. So I'm here to help make videos for you. So let me know what you need to know. You know, I've been doing this for long enough to where I kind of forget what it's like doing it fresh, you know, being new. What are your questions? So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one. Love y'all.